All right, let's get to USC and San Jose State. The Trojans win 56-28. Lucas, it was not an easy showing for USC. They were up 21-14 at halftime. They did outscore San Jose State 35-14 in the second half. This is a USC defense that got gashed for almost 400 yards. They allowed almost 200 yards on the ground. San Jose State averaged 7.3 yards per carry. Um, their San Jose State threw for 198 yards. Caleb Williams, looked good, 18 to 25, 278 yards, 4 touchdowns. The star of the show was freshman receiver Zach Branch, 4 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Also had a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown and averaged over 20 yards on his 3 punt returns. So really, really explosive. Zach Branch, the former 5-star true freshman from Las Vegas. Lucas, I picked USC to win the national championship, picked USC to win the Pac-12 championship, picked USC minus 30.5 this weekend. Don't feel good about any of it. Didn't feel good about any of it after that when you're watching a sluggish start. Again, you don't want to read into anything too much, right? It's week 0. It's an inferior opponent on paper. And at the end of the day, they won the game by 28 points. They scored almost 60 points. The defensive questions that lingered last season that I thought may have been fixed by some high-profile transfers and another year in the system under Alex Grinch didn't look like they were fixed in week 1 against San Jose State. But I don't want to read too much into it. What were your thoughts on the Trojans?
A lot of the same. One, the offense for USC, as we talked about before the beginning of the year, is just going to be insanely good and fun to watch. But like we said, is this going to be like last year where this team is going to have to score 40 plus every game in order to win? And based off of this first week, it might be the case once again. That was an ugly performance by their defense. You looked at it, allowing 7.3 yards per carry on the ground to San Jose State when you are going to have to play teams that love to run the ball in Utah and UCLA and Oregon. So look, luckily they still have, I think, a couple weeks before or do they play a couple weeks, I believe, until their next
I think they have off
opponent
next week. I think it's Stanford, maybe week 2. I forget what the early slate is.
It is so they have Nevada this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Then Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona before they play Notre Dame. So luckily they still have a few weeks to probably figure this out where they're not going to be in real danger if they have to play high scoring games, but it is a worry for sure. I did not pick them to win the national title, but I, like you, did pick them to win the Pac-12. I thought fairly easily this season. And once again, this looked like very much the same team like last year, which that team won 11 games last season, but we know what kept them from winning the Pac-12 and playing in the playoff. And yeah, I'm not super hopeful off the defense performance off this game, but it is something now that we just have to progress as they finish non-con and then until through that stretch until they play Notre Dame.
Yeah, and listen, if you're Lincoln Riley, you do have to look at the next handful of games, right? Nevada, Stanford, ASU, Colorado, Arizona. You're not going to get tested until mid-November. You're at Notre Dame, Utah, at Cal, Washington, Oregon, UCLA. I mean, it truly is, as we talked about in the Pac-12 preview, it's a tale of 2 seasons for USC. Your first 6 games should be 6 easy wins, and your last 6 games are going to be challenging. You got to go at Oregon. You got to go at Notre Dame. You play Utah and Washington at home. So plenty of time to fix things, plenty of time to right the ship a little bit, but not the start you wanted for USC.